Hello Australia, I'm Glen James. You're listening to My Millennial Money Express, and I thought I would do a bit of a clarity call because John Pigeon does clarity calls with people that want to bounce some information off him to get some clarity. And you know what? I thought, let's try one myself. So I'm talking with Brent today. G'day, Brent. How are you?
Hey, well, Glenn. How are you?
Not too bad. Now, you are in Brisbane.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am in Brisbane. I have lived here for this is my 10th year. I grew up in northern New South Wales and then moved up here for uni and have been working as an exercise physiologist here in Brisbane in different roles for the past 7 years. This is my 7th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. And what's your relationship status, housing status?
I am progressing towards not being single, I think, is better than saying it's complicated.
Wow. Okay.
And then should probably have that conversation with her.
Yeah.
And then I'm currently renting. Yeah. So I don't own a property.
Great.
That is the goal. Yeah.
Great. Now, you're an exercise physiologist and we've just had to be working remotely. How do you work remotely?
Well, it's been the past 2 weeks have been a real shift in the model of delivery. So everything that I do in my profession is generally face-to-face, and I'm in a hospital. And our whole profession has had to switch to a telehealth or teleconferencing model, basically to keep doing what we're doing because we're deemed an essential service at the moment. So basically teaching the people we're working with to use Zoom and then or any other type of platform, and then sort of transitioning everyone across to doing our sessions on the platform. So rather than physically, we're having to be a little bit more vocal in the way we're cueing them or instructing them through what we're doing. Yeah. So it's all basically like teleconferencing now.
Yeah. So you'd be like, lift the other left leg. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the other left. It's definitely an exercise in being really succinct and effective in the way that you're cueing exercises. But luckily, everyone I've been working with for a long time. So it's just continuing on that rapport and guiding them through what they're doing.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Now, what do you need some clarity on in your current situation?
I saw John giving away the 5 free sessions, and my little brother's in a bit of an interesting property situation. So I tagged him in that. And then I just started bantering with you and then said I'd love a free clarity call.
There you go.
So for me, in terms of clarity, I've been listening to your podcast for a while now. My housemate really got me encouraged to listen to it and use your spending plan. Essentially, I had a few periods over the last 2 years where I basically used all of my savings quite abruptly and then went through 2-3 month periods of earning no money. And what I did save, I didn't know at the time, was essentially a pseudo emergency fund. So I've had a really hard time bouncing back from that.
Yeah.
And then this is all sort of hit and I'm actually casual. So I do see my work potentially petering out over the coming weeks. So basically, if you can clarify my situation.
Yeah. So, okay, well, let's just have a bit of unpack the current state of affairs. Have you been working casually for the same employer for more than 12 months?
I have, yes.
Okay, sweet. So if push comes to shove, if they want to keep you on the books, you will get the $1,500 a fortnight if they give you the boot.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
If they give you the boot and don't want to keep you in their world, you will get the $1,500 a fortnight as a job seeker.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know as a kind of a final backstop that you will get $1,500 a fortnight.
Yeah.
Now,
you must be sick of talking about this at the moment.
It's fine. It's good to talk about it because Centrelink stuff, it's so bloody confusing. So, and everyone's situation is different, but as a broad brushstroke, in this current climate, if your hours did stop or you didn't work, you would have that money coming in at least.
Yeah. Which is amazing. It's so great that that's on offer. Yeah.
Do you have any debt?
I have, So I have about $4,000 consumer debt on a credit card that is from mostly professional development courses. So I had been paying that down. Essentially, it was a lot more, but basically when all this started ramping up and I foresaw my work potentially changing, I just switched gears, and what I was contributing to that debt, I'm just putting into savings and then just paying the minimum balance at the moment.
Yeah. What if you were going to say, and also you would have claimed those expenses on tax as well, right?
I have, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what are you, if you said to me, Glenn, there's an X% chance that I will have no job in 2 months, what do you think that percent chance would be of you losing your job?
I'd say it is, I'm going to say 40%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in two months, that's probably where we'll see a dip in my workload if I do continue casually. That then there'll be kind of a 3-month ramp up after that.
Yeah. How much cash do you have in your bank?
So I have about 6,000 in cash. So I'm about 2,000 shy of like the 3-month emergency fund.
Yep.
Yeah. And then,
And no other debt other than the credit card of $4,000.
Other than Hex Help, no.
Well, we'll forget that for now.
Yeah.
So
great.
I think you probably should, if you haven't already, call the credit card company. Have you done that?
I haven't. No, I just switched to minimum payments.
Yeah. Call them and say, do you have any hardship provisions? Now, I would, number one, keep on minimum payments.
Yeah.
If they do allow you to go to hardship and just defer all payments for 6 months, I would still do that anyway, just in case.
Okay, that's a great idea.
Because it's rather than doing it in a scramble, like just to be prepared.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Otherwise, I think in your situation, there is only a 40% chance. Well, let's call it 50%, okay?
Yeah,
if you're a little bit
why
off.
not?
Yeah, we'll flip a coin, So
that's what it feels like a wee bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think in your situation, because there is an unknown, it is just the strategy of I've got to just hold tight and live a week at a time for now.
Yeah, definitely.
And just save as much cash as you can. Don't worry about the credit card, and just try and ride it out. Now, is it a government agency that you work for? You said hospital?
I work for a university.
But
my work's done in a hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
So are there any long-term career, let's fast forward 6 months and we're out of all this and back to normal.
Yeah.
What are you wanting to do with your career? You don't want to stay casual forever.
No. So the plan wasn't to still be casual. I had planned to be on a full-time contract in late December, but there'd just been a hold-up in some agreements being signed. So that's why that probably would all be happening now. But basically, there's a freeze with the university sort of progressing with any hiring or transitioning people into full-time contracts at the moment, which makes complete sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I guess,
no, I didn't want to be casual forever.
In your situation, I would do exactly this. I would keep piling up cash because at the moment you still got a job. And then once you if you're only a couple of grand away from your fully funded 3 months emergency fund, so that would be $8,000, for example.
Yeah, that's it.
So, for example, just keep saving cash through this uncertain time. Then if your income doesn't stop and at the end of it you've got $12,000 in there, automatically we know we can just instantly pay that credit card off.
Perfect.
And then at the end of the year and into next year, hopefully they're like, all right, we now can proceed and get you on a permanent role. I think it's lovely. We've got our emergency fund, we're debt free. Now it's time to hit our goals and then work out what your goals are, which are...
It is to save for a house, essentially. Yeah, that's whether that's rent vesting, because I really enjoy renting, being able to be in quite a nice part and sociable part of Brizzy, or finding something that I like, the area that I like, and then moving into that.
Yeah, I mean, so Brisbane prices are pretty good and your income would be pretty good. So I think...
Yeah, Brisbane's great. Yeah.
Before you know it, you'd probably be well on your way to having a deposit to buy and live in yourself if your heart did so desire anyway.
Yeah, well, that's definitely my goal. Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm a doctor and you've come in with a common cold and I've just gone, you've got a cold, all right, see you next, then I'll bulk bill you.
It does feel a bit like that, like you're a doctor but you've got no patience.
Yeah. And I don't have any patience as well.
That's an old joke my dad used to say.
Right.
Yeah, well, I feel like I should try and milk this and but I've got nothing else I really need clarity on.
No, that's it. I just, you've got to really, it's a holding pattern. We're just not touching the credit card minimum payments. If you can call them and defer it for at least 6 months, do that, stuff them, and then keep your target of emergency fund. Once we're at that target, we're still not paying down debt till we're through this crisis. Then we're paying down the credit card with any surplus in the emergency fund or your savings. And just use this time to review your spending plan and make sure you're not paying for 15 subscriptions like I was and didn't know it. So
I've tightened all of that up actually.
Yeah.
So spending, I don't know, I'm just going to give it basically a wrap, but if you're not using it, you really should be. Yeah. It's just very helpful to take you through that exercise of working out, okay, there's all these categories. Am I actually spending any money on that or not? And that's fine, but it really does give you clarity essentially around where your money's going or what you could be doing with it a bit better.
Totally. How much do you pay a week rent where you are?
$170, which is amazing.
So you share with somebody?
Yeah, I share with a couple,
Yeah, oh, perfect. So keep in that situation as long as possible. And then,
we'd love to.
And realistically, and you probably do need, once you get through all this crap, even next year, probably do an actual clarity call with John on the property situation, whether it is rent vesting or buying to live, because when you buy your first property, if you are living in it, you might be able to keep saving cash and flush that cash through super to get the first home super saver scheme to get those tax advantages. Because,
that's a great point.
Because basically, instead of just putting $100 a week in or whatever, you could technically, if you just have to line the ducks up, if you had cash at the end of a financial year, if the planets did align and you're about to buy, you could just flush a lump sum through super because you can claim a personal tax, a personal contribution on tax now. So it's the same as a salary sacrifice anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I think it's important to get through this 6 months, work out where your income and your job settles, then go, okay, I think I can save 20 grand for a place within X amount of months, plus I'll get a first homeowners grant, plus I'll save tax using the first home super saver scheme. And I think you'll be in a house, even if it's a $500,000 or $400,000 townhouse.
Well, that would sound amazing.
You
I've got no
tomorrow.
grand plans. With housing.
Yeah. So you are killing it, my friend.
Oh, thanks, Glenn. Right back at you.
Yeah, and good luck unwinding that relationship.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's great. It's going really well.
Does she listen to the podcast?
She just started, but I'm going to ask her not to listen to this episode.
So she knows it's coming.
Yeah, we've chatted about it, but I did ask for her to not listen to the episode.
Oh, wow. She's going to listen?
All I can do is ask. It's her choice.
I feel so sorry for her.
Why?
It's just hard going through heartbreak.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be heartbreak. It's a positive thing.
Okay. So you're both
right
done.
Direction.
Yeah, you're both done.
Yeah. I think we're heading in the relationship status direction. I've just not had that conversation. Yeah,
wait, sorry. I thought you were unwinding a relationship.
No. Oh gosh, I would never bring that up on.
I was going to say, who's this axe murderer? Okay, so you're about ready to Facebook official it.
She doesn't have Facebook, so
perfect. Yeah, but okay. Oh, that makes sense because you're like, when people say to me it's complicated, it means it's a bit dodgy, a bit on the rocks.
Being jovial, that would be horrifying. That's a.
I hope someone listens to the end of this episode to understand that this is. Oh, awesome! And what's her name? Michaela. Hey, Michaela. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I know you'll listen to this episode and it's great to have you. And I hope your relationship goes great. And that's about the extent of my advice in relation to relationships.
Thanks, Glenn.
So there we have it.
Thank you. Well, thanks for this. It's been really fun.
Yeah. And thanks for letting me test this new setup. All right.
Anytime.
All right, Brent, we will leave it there. Thanks for joining me on M3X.
Thanks,
Bye.
Glenn. You're welcome.
See ya.
See you.